Oh, that's right. Freeball in chat was one of the people who did Castlevania 2 as a mystery game.
That's right, we have had one of the holes on here, the Crystal Castle we had.
Which he won by 0.8 seconds.
Sounds like a pretty solid margin of victory.
We're still getting set up here.
Any word from 90?
Not yet. Oh god. Is that like... It's like Jadine took a really good palette and then inverted it.
That is the name of the palette. He takes to it and then the title is inverted.
I bet if there was some effect that made the screen flash, it would look really good every time it flashed. That's true, the Grim Reaper kind of does have a boomerang. It looks like it's maybe a sickle, and then he throws it, and it's very much a boomerang.
Right, it's an Australian Reaper.
Oi! It's that Christopher. I think that's his character's name.
Yep, Christopher Belmont. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we made contact with our third player. But not our fourth player. Jeff Sledge unfortunately had to drop out. That's a shame.
I was looking pretty bad there for a little while myself.
That's true. It was a PC malfunction, trouble with the heat sink.
Yeah, putting on some more heat. A new layer of thermal paste and resetting the heat did the job.
Well, Mighty's working on the voting right now, so that's good. We'll have some game picked out pretty soon, I hope. It's alright, we got a pretty early start. We can start whenever. When I scheduled this originally, I was thinking that this was going to be an all-mystery game one, so that would have been 5 hours. It's not going to take nearly that amount of time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I have to commentate on a Cuso Grande game later on tonight.
Oh, very nice.
Escape from Atlantis.
Oh, man. Who are the lucky people playing that?
I don't know. He didn't tell me that. He just said that's what it's gonna be. Shh, by the way.
That's right. For the safety of the victims, I mean the players of that game, we won't be revealing their identities.
Kuso Games Done Quick is on Thursday. You can find that on the calendar.
Dragon Dark, you've got way too many birds around.
That's fine.
The Birdmaster.
I keep forgetting my strats.
I did all of my practice with the sound off, and it's strange listening to things now.
I got my Ringwave music up so I can listen along with the folks at home.
For that.
How's chat doing today? It's getting to that time of year. Festivities, Christmas cheer.
Oh.
Is anyone home for the holidays right now? Last weekend we put up the tree. The chat. Not very enthusiastic about Christmas. I like Christmas. I even like Christmas carols. My mom is selling the house that we grew up in, so it's going to be the last Christmas in the family house. Yeah. Last Christmas we had a house. The very next year you gave it away.
Okay, I hit up and the controller said down. Good job, controller.
Ill prepared. Yeah, me and my family agreed that we wouldn't really do gifts, but like if something came along and was like, oh, you know what, this would be good, then sure, go ahead and get it. I wanted to get my mom an ugly Christmas sweater, but for some reason they wouldn't arrive until January 22nd. So
That sentiment's a little lost.
yeah. Or I could go to a site that like especially made for like Tipsy Elves, I think is an ugly Christmas sweater site, but they're like $80. For a gag gift? No thanks.
Well, just as soon as Nighty finishes his voting, we can get a game assigned to you guys so you can start practicing.
Hope the game is something fun There's some fun games on here.
How'd
There's
that
also
happen?
some not so fun games on
I
there.
hope. I hope there's some not so fun games. Those are my favorite kind.
I know I made sure to veto those fun games.
That's good. We don't like fun. Please veto all the fun stuff.
Yeah, it looks like Jadian vetoed Dragon Dark's #1 and Dragon Dark vetoed Jadian's #2. So they are opposites.
Yeah, I've never played both before, so.
When do they start? Very soon. Very
Hopefully
soon they're going to
soon.
start practicing
Hopefully.
the mystery game, and then that will be an hour, and our first match will start after that.
Hey, voting's in. Cool. Thank you very much for getting the voting done, guys. Let me just see which one I'm gonna do.
Yeah, he didn't log it in yet. He's moving him around, thinking about it. It's an important choice.
Oh, not done yet. Oh, okay.
Didn't Ringwave switch to Christmas carols at some point?
Last year? I think they might have, yeah. Yeah, we keep getting stream drops from Nighty. I think I'm gonna switch over to Twitch for his stream. Hey, there we go. The voting's done. Let me just go assign the games.
I suppose I'm not surprised.
That it got picked?
Yeah.
That is.
I am surprised that all three of these people are playing the same game at the moment. Looking at these three screens, you wouldn't know it.
Alright guys, well the mystery goal's posted. We're going to be playing a game
Bum, bum,
that you
ba-dum.
may have heard of
Bum.
called Super Mario Land.
Bum, ba-dum, bum. Ba-da-bum, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, the subtitle is bum bum ba-dum bum.
That's it. That's the one.
Oh, that one they had Super Mario Land as a main game, so they've swapped here. The episode where Castlevania was a mystery game.
Oh, they had it as a main game? Wow. Who are our players in that one?
It was Freeball, Zyre, and Milnium.
And who?
Milnium.
Oh, right, that's right.
I think it was his first episode. The first match was really close. Castlevania was really close. And then the second match had a pretty even spread. Much tougher goal. I actually don't know which goal we're doing for this one. I'll take a peek here. 2-1 and 2-2.
It's been a while since pretty sure I had this.
You also have 11 lives, I guess.
That's fine. You should move
It's a little annoying that for some reason I can't see the volume slider in Rainwave unless I maximize the window. So Super Mario Land, in terms of speedrunning, is kind of interesting because there are a lot of levels where it's possible to never stop and therefore have a sort of theoretical perfect run. But boy, is it hard to not stop sometimes. I think a certain amount of time, like despite being a Mario game, you know, you'd think you wouldn't really need all that much time to sort of get used to the way it controls. Generally, people know Mario.
Control is a rather strong word.
But yeah, a lot of people forget how hard it is actually to control Mario in these old Mario games. And all of them have their own quirks. This one especially, I suppose.
This one has a lot of quirks, apparently. Wow, he falls at the lead weight.
Yeah, just boom. He's like Simon, I guess. Just looking at the sheer number of resets right off the bat.
Do that.
This is going to be I think it's going to be heavily based off of memorization. You don't get too much screen on the Game Boy, so when you have a character with a really big jump like this, often you're jumping at things that maybe aren't quite on screen yet.
Okay. It's not saving my damn palette.
Huh. I guess this one came with a... That's curious. Oh well. I'll just set my palette and then save and stick it again.
Yep, it should be fine as long as you absolutely make sure that you never unpause after loading the state.
Like, it flashes my palette for a brief moment. Wow, okay, so turning around is like instant.
Sort
I think
of,
you missed that.
yeah. But I think if you're on the ground, it's not.
It's mostly. Okay.
But I think if you just stop holding right, I think it actually takes him kind of a long time to stop moving.
Oh my god, Mario, why are you so fat now?
He's always been.
He's much fatter now.
Now he plays and jumps as fat as he looks in this one. Yes, Jeff Sledge couldn't be with us today, unfortunately. So far, we're seeing a lot of 2-1.
That's not going to change.
A lot of like absolute refusal to slow down at all. So just like run forward and then hit a pit and reset. Over and over and over.
These physics are way worse than the NES. Okay, I don't know how that just happened.
You threw a fireball. They're weird and bouncy in this one.
He got stuck.
Yeah, they it sucks trying to hit anything with a fireball in this game. I think every time the speedrun does it, he pretty much waits until he's right on top of an enemy to do it. It's the only way to get any consistency out of it.
That's not an enemy from Mario. That's an enemy from Metroid. What's it doing here?
It's getting exposure. Working on its
Karen-
career.
It's a crossover game.
Super Metroid Land.
That would have been great.
I'm sure that's a ROM hack.
Okay, jump up. That'll work.
Dragon Dark entered the tournament as the number 1 seed, and I think JDN actually had a seed that kind of didn't belie his skill. I think he took like a big hit in 1 or 2 episodes right before.
I had an episode where I placed like 4th all.
Yeah, that was an incredibly stiff competition in that one. I think it was the gimmick one. And
Yeah,
everyone was super, super close.
Okay, so it's not just Mario that fault. I waited everything. Damn, how I hit that through the floor.
Yeah, the bouncing off of enemies mechanic is kind of generous in this game, for better or worse.
Wow, these physics.
Also, I think Mario's sprite is not as wide as it looks, and so I think every time you slip off an edge, it's because you think his it should extend a little bit longer. He should be on that ledge a little longer, but he doesn't. I don't know if he's 1 block though.
Okay, don't neutral jump. You can't go anywhere from it.
Did not know that.
I had a point earlier where I was in the middle of a running jump to the right, and I hit left, and he like stayed in place, no motion at all, and then I hit right, and I had exactly the same velocity that I had before stopping.
Yeah, yeah. He just stops moving completely, and then he's right back to full speed.
Work.
Yeah. I wonder if I should change to a different palette.
I think viewers may appreciate it.
Oh my god.
I think viewers appreciate the worst possible Game Boy palette they can find.
Well, let's ask him.
Let's ask.
Happy to
We
oblige.
gotta chat.
You guys want a nice looking palette or an eyesore palette?
You're the ones looking at it.
Define whether or not this is an eyesore.
The white, something about the white platforms.
It's a little bit.
It's because it's such stark white on such pure black.
For eyesore, text 1. He's gone with a nice classic gray palette. Probably what the default should have been instead of this this weird alien amber that you see on Dragon Dark's screen. This is I think the default for
That's how the
BizHawk.
Game Boy looks.
It's not really. It's like a super exaggerated version of how a Game Boy screen looks. If you were to blend the colors in Dragon Dark's and 90s screens, that's maybe a little more accurate.
I'm liking this chat, by the way.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
they were
like they
going.
reached a consensus. Eyesore, Demon Chocobo 1.
Oh, no. This game just does not want to stick my palette at all.
I see you tried to switch back to that blood pink palette from Castlevania and it didn't want to do it.
Just has no interest.
I have not figured this palette stuff out for BizHawk.
That's a Goomba. Like, it changes for one frame when it's changing the screen.
Yep, Dragon Dark was responsible for Pink Batman.
No, that was Fuchsia Batman.
Fuchsia Batman. Hey, it won.
My mistake.
If only RoboCop vs. Terminator could have been Fuchsia, you might not be in this match.
Oh.
Oh
Oh man,
please.
that left to right there that Dragon Dark just did looked so wonky.
Wow, the time counting down sound is so bad.
Isn't it?
It's so
It just goes on and on, too. Yeah. I always liked the ladder bonus game, though, because it moved just slow enough that you could pretty much accurately get the thing that you wanted if you had a little bit of patience.
Dang, there's no buffering jumps.
Yeah, I don't think there's any buffered input in this.
Oh, we're seeing 2-2 for the first time.
You're seeing.
Please, physics, Steve.
That dead stop in midair is so long.
Well, if you're just joining us, let me explain what's happening right now. We're going to have 3 matches of games today. 2 of the matches will be of Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge for the Game Boy. And that's a game that these guys have had a week to work on, so they've had some time to practice the 2 goals for that game. But the second match that you're going to see tonight, which is what they're practicing for right now, is Super Mario Land. This is the mystery game. So these players were just informed of this game being the mystery game about 13 minutes ago, and they have an hour to practice it. So they have an hour to practice stages 2-1 and 2-2, you'll see this game in our second mystery goal. Second mystery match, rather.
I forgot about these weird two-part alien saucer things.
I think I like 2-2 better than 2-1.
Not a lot of things made their way out of this game that were unique to it.
Yeah, these enemies I don't really see showing up other places. The weird fireball pattern. The complete lack of any kind of hit stun.
The bomb Koopas. That's
Yeah.
kind of an interesting idea. You think they would do something with that.
Yeah, essentially the Bob-ombs act that way. They walk
Yes.
around, and then when you stomp on them, they start a timer and then explode. But then again, the Bob-ombs can do that without stomping on them. I think they'll do that anyway, won't they, after a while?
Depends on the bomb, I think.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
I think there's some versions where you need to be, they're sort of proximity triggered.
Proximity triggered, right, but yeah, in this, it's just you hit them once and they turn into a bomb and it's over.
What the?
You can collect coins with fireballs in this, I think,
Yes.
which was not generally something that works in other Mario games.
Oh, that stupid generous stomp mechanic.
Yep. There it is, eating your jump there.
So if you run into a piranha plant, you go down the tube?
Maybe.
Maybe you tap down? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh my god.
Here's a
Get 'em
star
blocked.
too. And if you feel like.
I tried grabbing it and I died.
Yeah, it's
Good trade-off.
I feel like this goal's probably short enough that despite how weird it controls, you can probably get a good run without the star. But if you're not feeling confident, the star is there. I think there might be one in the next stage too, somewhere. It's really hard getting it out of the box though. The boxes are 8 by 8 pixels, I think.
I don't know where to go.
I think there's a star in one of those blocks, in those huge rows of blocks. But you wouldn't be able to get it very quickly unless it was near the end or start. That's what 12-year-old me is saying in my head.
Oh my god. Generous bounce, please. I was not even close to hitting him. I
What did you do?
Mario, get your head out of the clouds. I mean the blocks.
Whoops.
Jesus.
Who made this game?
Maybe it's just an invisible platform.
Find out in a moment.
Are you sure we will?
Just gonna try to replicate it, I guess.
Oh,
Hey,
it
that's-
is.
Oh. Okay.
Yep, it is.
I forgot they have those in this one.
Yeah, I thought I glitched.
Does it actually go anywhere?
There's
Yeah,
coins
it's
and stuff.
Not useful.
I bet one of those blocks has a mushroom in it. Maybe even a star.
That's not up.
People seem to be moving a little more cleanly now. Had some time to adjust, figure it out. It's been about 20 minutes. Still 40 minutes of practice left. Looks like Nighty's opting to not sort of memorize the stage and go jump by jump, but rather just sort of play through. Lots of small little hesitations that are going to greatly increase his consistency. But if someone manages to put together a more bold, risky run without any mistakes, he's going to need to change it up. Nice combo there from Jadian, bouncing off of things that are under the bridge, eating his jump.
That seems pretty decent.
Yeah, Super Mario Land 2 is so different from this one. Mario's sprite and all the... like, everything is basically about 4 times as big.
Seems like the Super Mario Land games, they change things around a lot.
They definitely felt free to experiment a little more.
They smoothly transitioned from Mario-based games to Wario-based.
When will the United States switch to a Wario-based system already? Come on. It's 2015. I can't tell if people are planning where to use their damage boosts or if it's just happening and they're just going with it.
Probably just happening.
No, Dragon Dart gets his jumping again. eat my jump 1 or 2 times, shame on you.
Asking for a jump in this game is kind of like taking a loan.
My
Gotta
Lexi's
jump
describing World 4. 3 has the Moais and the Easter Island type things, and then 4 is sort of Chinese, I guess. Has the hopping vampires and bamboo trees.
Those are totally Mario. Oh, that was monks.
The game gets pretty hard in World 4. 3 is kind of like a fair challenge, but 4 is where it can be a little frustrating. Stars actually become like a godsend.
I can't believe that just worked.
Yep, the piranha plant hitboxes are as bad in this game as they are in Mario 1 on the NES.
And I finally made it to the second level.
All right. Well, how are we doing on time? Still 34 minutes. So you're on pace, I guess. Seems like Dragon Dark's plan is to come into stage 2 as small Mario. Because that's where his save state is. I don't know if that's an intentional damage boost planned or just assuming he's not going to make it through without getting hit. I don't know.
I'm just assuming I'm not gonna make it. Oh, why did I jump on that guy? Crap, that position. Mario, please. Your sprite, if you're partially hanging off of a block, please stay on the block like Belmont.
Oh yeah, he can get way out on a block. Not Mario. Oh, what was that sketch with like the Tetris god? Tetracles or something? People in chat got me thinking about it. I think it was, yeah, College Humor. 3 hours to go from 00 to 95. I guess it's what, 60 times 25. 1,200 lines, I think. Apparently I haven't woken up yet.
Now to actually watch what the run that you were given does.
Oh yeah, we had that, didn't
Yeah, I think the Tycoon's run is pretty optimized. I think Ness Kamikaze in chat, I think he's actually, he knows Tetris. And yeah, I was messing around with going above level 9 high 5 in mode B. I think I managed to beat 14.5. I wonder if we could have a meaningful Tetris Game Boy goal.
Give us a save state at speed 20 and challenge us to make 20 lines. Nah, 20 would probably be too fast.
Yeah, for sure. It would basically be like, are you already good at Tetris? You win the episode. Otherwise you lose. Also, like, if you've played Tetris, you've kind of speedrun Tetris. So everyone, like, no one would be able to be like, oh, yeah, I've never played Tetris. It'd get conflicted out every time.
But the difference is whether or not they know how to do T-stems.
Well, yeah, we had that Wario's Woods match. And Nighty just got the hang of it better than the other guys. And walked all over them.
Yeah, Wario's Woods fortunately not as popular as Tetris, so even though it is certainly about who has the knack for it, at least it's not something that we would expect the average person to have played. Anyone with a
Played it
Game Boy
on
had Tetris.
Genesis.
Sorry, what was that?
I think I played it on Genesis, Warriors Woods.
There's a Genesis
Sure.
Wario's Woods?
I don't know why I'm thinking that. I guess I'm very confused about my childhood then.
At that time, I don't think Nintendo would have put one of their main licensed characters in a Sega game, but I could be wrong.
I'm probably the one wrong, but
Okay.
now I'm wondering why I made that mistake.
There is a Super Nintendo Wario's Woods, though.
I have no idea why I made that mistake. Must have been some other game I was thinking of that was sure. both that I did play it on one version, not the other.
I didn't know Battletoads and Double Dragon was an NES game for a long time. I had it on the Genesis as a kid.
I wonder which version is more buggy.
I don't know if anyone actually plays the Genesis version.
Only thing I've seen is the NES version. PJ and Mecca playing that.
Yep. Which is always a fun watch.
Let's
Dragon Dark seems to have settled into taking a hit on that bridge there as the intended strat.
Yeah, the nice thing about this is that you don't slow down at all when you take a hit, and you get a little bit of invulnerability. So it's pretty good in speedrunning terms. These guys, I think, are starting with the Fire Flower, right?
Yes.
And I think this is one of those games where when you get hit as the Fire Flower, you go right back to Small Mario.
Yep.
They don't downgrade you a little bit at a time, you just go back to nothing.
Yeah, I think your sprite doesn't even change when you get the Fire Flower.
I'm not sure.
It'd be hard to tell with all these palettes.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone really incorporating any fireballs into their run.
I'd throw some on 2-2, but that requires getting to 2-2.
Yeah, that's why I haven't seen it, I guess. But yeah, they're hard to use. You can't throw them way in advance, because otherwise they just bounce off into the sky.
Yeah, really weird fireballs. No gravity at all on them in this game. Unlike other Mario games, they'll sort of bounce, then come up in the air and back down again and bounce again. But in this, they hit something and they'll just keep going, like some sort of screensaver.
I'm kind of glad that they aren't following Mario's physics through that.
There are some neat sections where there's like a bunch of coins that are locked in a block maze, and you need to shoot a fireball in there, and then it bounces around and it picks up all the coins.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun. I assume it's a fireball. There's nothing even remotely fiery about it.
It's a ball of pasta. It's an
Pasta
Italian
flour?
meatball. It's a pasta flour, right?
Oh man, can someone come up with a pasta flour pun?
No.
There's got to be one, like a linguine,
Nope.
something like that.
That's not one.
No.
You guys keep making me think of Pastafarians.
Right. All the pastafarians out there.
I think the fireball was stuck in the bridge for a moment there.
Man, I don't know why 90s stream is buffering like crazy.
I think mine's going okay.
Yeah, it's just on my end it's doing it. I don't know.
Oh, the official name is the Super Ball.
It's a Super Ball. Okay.
That's how real Super Balls work, by the way. gravity doesn't affect them at all. That's why you can never find them. Because they roll away and float off into space. Looks like players are starting to get a sense of when they can't just hold forwards anymore. During practice, they would always just kind of assume there might be a way and just hold and jump and see what happens. But they've been at it long enough that they know now what is going to happen if they do that. So,
What's your first instinct?
with some reluctance, you
All
will
right.
see them pause a little bit sometimes.
Mario can actually catch the bottom of the platform and just immediately skyrocket or dive bomb to the ground. Because
Yeah, I
like
saw that.
this
That was
platform.
interesting. He was like, I'm on a platform, so my jump stops, but I'm actually not on this platform, so I'm going to start falling.
I hate the fact that he started us with a fire flower. It's actually messing me up. The sprite's too big.
Then you shouldn't play Mario Land 2, because your sprite's goddamn huge.
Mario, please get on the platform. I tell you to.
Has anyone bothered to learn where a mushroom is? Backup mushroom? Anything like that?
I haven't.
Oh, nice. Nighty threw a super ball such that it bounced and started picking up some coins so it didn't just fly off into space.
That was nonsense.
At least he did on my screen. I don't know what he's doing on Fiesel's. How are we doing on time? Still got 17 minutes, just about. Lots of time to iron out some of these kinks.
Kinks isn't quite the word.
I keep forgetting about how he just plummets as he walks off the ledge.
Why do I keep doing Wow. It's 5 longer than I thought I was going to. Jump a frame too early. I need to remember to not do that.
You know what else you can't do in this game? You can't hold jump to get a high bounce off of an enemy. That would change the game, man.
It would.
Nope, I'll do a full jump there. Okay, it didn't take any of my jump inputs there. Okay. Game lagged and changed enemy patterns? Question mark?
How did you lag it?
I don't know. It just did.
I had the emulator freeze up on me for a moment or two earlier too. When I tried to save a state.
The pixel too high. Pixel too low. Forward momentum, please.
I wonder how many of us are actually going to get runs through.
Well, I have an I don't know if it's the fastest strat, but I have an okay strat for 2-2. I'm focusing on 2-1.
I think the goal's short enough that you guys will get runs in. Well, I don't know. If someone gets a really good run right away and forces, everyone else to sort of go for one of those close to perfect runs, then maybe we see a DNF.
Thanks, generous bounce, for bouncing me into something else.
Sounds about right.
What's that? Enemy was below the platform? Go.
Dragon Deck determined to go for this tricky bounce off of a fish here.
I can do this. Nope, can't do that. Nice. Never thought I'd say that a Game Boy Castlevania has better physics than a Mario game. Oh my.
To be fair, I think I like both of them better than ActRaiser.
It's Fire Flower.
Yep, ActRaiser's a little weird with the jumping. It's kind of the opposite of this one, actually. One. If you do a neutral jump, you can move in both directions, but in this game, if you do a neutral jump, you can't move at all.
I've vetoed a lot of games just because of their blocky-looking controls.
I guess what I'll do. That stage. In the beginning.
Yeah, Nutty going with star strats here.
Wow, I almost do 2-2 the same way he does. I hadn't watched the video yet. That's reassuring. Oh.
Getting pretty close to the end of practice here, only 6.5 minutes to go. So 2 stages, reasonable amount to learn in an hour's time. It's pretty much just pure platforming, doesn't seem to be any real hidden tricks, although there are some strange things about the movement mechanics these players have discovered.
Strange is an understatement.
Yeah. It's really early Game Boy game. They're still trying to find their sea legs here when they made this.
Oh my god. Oh, recovered, but I can lose so much time for that. That jump was a bitch.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anyone land that jump at the end of 2-1 yet.
Tycon does it. I see how to do it.
I'm not
Do you
sure
have
I
to-
can.
You do a not full jump so you don't hit the ceiling at all?
You do a low as possible jump.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that though.
Just jump clean over.
I'm really not what's the word? confident in my ability to do jumps for that few frames. So
There is kind of a lot going on in the skull. It could be that the winner is the person who just put something decent up.
I really need to make a save state. Yeah. Just that. Don't ever slow down because your momentum goes down to molasses and super glue. Oh my god, I'm going too fast.
We don't want to do that. Don't go too fast.
might get a speeding ticket.
Yeah. Then you'll end up too furious.
I said I was gonna make a save state, but I just decided to keep running.
Sounds about right.
It's always interesting to see how players use save states during their practice.
Nope, that didn't work. Take that, maybe. Alright, we're save stating here like I said I was going to.
Oh, the pause has hearts around it. It's so hard to get a clean save state. I feel like even if you get it from this save state, it's gonna feel weird doing it from a run.
You have to hit the jump button for like one frame. There is no way. I am testing this.
F is the default hotkey for frame advance.
What was that?
F is the default hotkey for
Oh,
frame advance.
I have frame advance set up for a bunch of other things already anyway.
Fair enough.
Alright.
There is a star in those blocks. Nighty found it. It's at the end of the second row of blocks.
Huh. I thought that had been the mushroom.
Yup! It is a one frame tap to get that jump. One frame.
That's not easy.
Fuck you, game.
Is that something Tycon does in his run?
Yeah, he does
Yeah.
it in his run, yeah.
If you hold it for 2 frames, you will bump the blocks above him. If you hold it for 1 frame, you'll just barely get it. And you have to do this by landing on the platform.
So you have to be holding A mostly, you know, as you approach the block. Then you have to let off of it and then just feather it for 1 frame after that. I know I had a lot of trouble doing 1 frame inputs for Zelda to do the screen wraps. Definitely had a lot of trouble, like, just, you know, get this little, like, just barely tap and tap. Just,
You usually have time to set that up, though, because you're waiting for a screen transition to happen beforehand. Whereas this, it's let off, hit it for 1 frame, let back off.
yeah.
Alright.
It's like an entire skill. You have to readjust the way you push buttons in order to do it. And given that there's 0 seconds left of practice, not an easy thing to incorporate. But I guess now that everyone knows, they can keep it in their back pocket as a desperation strat. Maybe it's easier to tap a button for 1 frame than it is to do a D-pad input. Never
I don't
really
have
tried
any
it.
problems with D-pad input anymore. Then again, the tournament kind of helped with that.
Tournament? What tournament? A Zelda 1 tournament? What?
Yeah.
That's crazy! Would the finals be happening today? Wow! That's nuts. 7 p.m. Twitch.tv/bestofness. Exciting. Exciting.
That advertisement.
I'm not even part of it. I'm just super excited about it.
I'm not either. I didn't play with them.
It's
Well, I think it's about time to switch back over to Castlevania and get that going.
I think we're doing a Zelda 2 race around when the finals for Zelda 1 starts. I think there might be a bit of conflict there for us. And for viewers who like both Zelda games.
Well, they can just put up multi-Twitch.
I don't know, it starts at 9. Yeah, so Zelda's not going to finish in 2 hours. And the Sven race should be finishing up about now. Sven and Link 7s.
That's right. They did the rematch of that Sven and Link race.
It's like Nighty's just trying to finish this level out.
Well, while we're getting set up here, let's explain what we're doing. This is Speed Gaming League, or SGL. This is our end of season playoffs. This is the season 1 finals. We're doing a playoff tournament. 32 people started, and not very many people left. We've been at this for a while, coming down to the very end. Should be finished within the next 2 weeks. So you're watching a match here between Dragondark, Jadian, and Nighty. We were also supposed to have Jeff Sledge in the mix, but unfortunately he had to drop out due to some conflicts. It's a lot of work going into being in this SGL tournament. Each of these players has been here for a number of episodes and had to practice a bunch of games, so it's certainly a bit of a commitment. But these guys have managed to make it all the way up to, I think this is the second to last round of the losers bracket, or third to last round of the losers bracket. All these players have been defeated once already, so one more elimination and they're done with the tournament here. So today, out of these 3 players, only one person's going to continue on. And the match you're going to be seeing here first is a match of Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge for the Game Boy. This is a goal that these guys had a whole week to practice. They're doing Dracula's Castle Part 2 right here. And in the third match today, you're going to see another goal of this same game. It's going to be a different level than this, but that'll be match 3. In the meantime, you're going to see match 2 immediately after this, and that'll be Super Mario Land, which is this week's mystery game. So we saw those players working on that earlier, but now we're going to switch over to Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge, The Adventures of Christopher Belmont. And these guys are going to have 30 minutes to try to get the best run they can of Dracula's Castle Part 2. I think I'm all set to go over here. If you guys are ready to go, we could start the timer. Is everybody ready?
Oh, you know what? I'm almost ready. What I need is, how do you make his hawk go really fast when you do the fast forward. There's a way to sort of unlock it.
Does tab not do it?
Yeah, tab is what does it, but it goes like not all that fast. There's a way to make it go super fast.
Oh, you may have to set another hotkey. I think there's two fast forwards.
Wait, speed
turbo and fast forward or
clock
something.
throttle?
Oh. Alright, well, are the players ready to go?
Give me 1 second.
Alright.
Alright, I should.
Oh, I think I crashed this hawk. I was like, no, don't throttle me. And then I held fast forward and it was just like, ah! Windows is checking for a solution to the problem, so I'm sure everything will be okay.
Yeah, Windows finds the solution to everything.
Okay, looks like everybody's here now. Nope, we haven't done Super Mario Land yet. These guys have practiced SML for a little bit, but they're not going to do the match of it until this match is over. So 30 minutes from now, they'll start the Super Mario Land match. But first, we got some Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. Okay, anybody not ready to go?
Nobody's not ready.
I guess. I see movement on Nighty's and JD's stream. Dragon Dark is there, maybe?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, well then I'm going to give you guys the countdown. In 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off. First match of the day here. So this is Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. This is the second Castlevania game for the Game Boy. The first Castlevania game looked a little bit different than this. I feel like this is more accurate rendition of the Castlevania game. Converted to Game Boy, but the first Castlevania game was pretty good. I think this is far better, though. I would definitely recommend this game if you're a Game Boy platformer fan. Maybe not so much the first one, although I guess it's worth playing at some point. But
Yeah,
I
I got
actually
this one.
genuinely feel like this is an enjoyable game. It's not all auto-scroller like the first game is, and your sprites and all the enemy sprites are big enough that you can actually see them.
Yeah, the first one was what I thought the players were going to be playing when we gave it to them. And I was like, well, you guys messed up. I don't know why you picked this one, but yeah, no, they picked the good one.
Right, you're getting attacked by bats that are like a clump of 4 pixels. It's pretty tricky hitting anything. But this is a pretty interesting game. A lot of variety of gameplay. Lots of trap rooms. They were certainly going crazy with trap rooms here. You'll see these spike crusher rooms occurring in a few places. And there's a lot of rooms with nothing but just a single enemy in them. Just a one-screen room with an enemy in it. But these are probably some of the harder rooms to do in this goal. I think all the rooms that are just straightforward platforming aren't too bad, but if you're trying to shave off frames from each of your rooms, I think the ones with just a single enemy that takes many hits to kill is going to be kind of tricky.
Yeah, it's this is a Castlevania game, so you stop whenever you attack, and all these guys take more than one hit, so you have to kind of be clever about ways to work in some jump attacks or maybe throw a sub-weapon to get some hits in, and sometimes you can kill enemies without stopping, but it's pretty rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see some damage boosts to get through some of these enemy encounters, probably more in the next goal, I think.
No, you're gonna... Yeah, well, is it a damage boost if you climb right through that spinny thresher thing.
Ah, well, the climbing, yeah, that's a damage boost. I'm thinking of, like, enemies that you boost through
Yeah.
instead of fighting. I believe there's some of that in the other goal, but not this one. Not sure.
That's right.
But, yeah, that climbing room, that's an interesting one. Mostly just because you're taking a lot of damage to get through it, and health is a real limited resource in this goal. You see Nighty right here taking damage to get through this crusher instead of killing it. He's gonna kill this one though. Yeah, so the lack of health I think may end up being a factor. Health is on a tight budget here, so accidental hits might mean a reset.
Dragon Dark, I guessed, had a good run there. Killed
I
that
mistimed
spider
that jump.
a hair too early. Yeah.
No, I could have made it up there. I just jumped
really?
a couple frames too early.
So it's possible to make this early cycle on this very first platform if you're clever about the way you deal with that knight enemy. Use your axes and your jump attacks to make sure you don't slow down. But yeah, these spiky spinner things do so much damage that you don't get any leeway for the rest of the level.
Yeah, you're taking, what, 4 per hit, and you need at least 2 hits to get through this.
He's gonna feel that one in the morning.
So no one finishing a run yet. This was the harder of the two goals. I think everyone agreed
Oh,
on.
by far.
Alright, we got this excellent Game Boy soundtrack playing here. This is the Belmont's Revenge music.
No, I didn't change my palette.
Yeah, I don't think that's a color blindness works either. You just see red as green. Not quite that way. Zoot in chat he thinks everyone's practicing, but it's not. They're not. This is the match has started. The format we do on SGL here is players have 30 minutes to complete a run of this goal of Castle 2, I guess it's called. And they can reset whenever they want if things go bad, and if they finish a run, they're allowed to keep going and try to improve it. And it's sort of in between a race where you only get one shot and a regular speed run where you have as many tries as you want. So it opens the door for some strategy, basically.
Yep, so each of these players, as they complete a run, if they complete a run, now when they complete a run, when each of these players completes a run, they're going to upload the recording of it, and Mythical will play that back. Actually, I think it's going to be Arcano. I think he's going to show up at some point pretty soon, but for the moment
No,
it's...
he's not going to, so no, nothing's getting done.
Well, there's not going to be any runs to time, so it doesn't matter. But if there were some runs to time, then Mythical 9 or Arcano, depending on who's doing that duty, will play the run back and get the exact timing for us, which will then appear in this box in the middle of the screen. And it looks like we've already got a run in from Nighty, finishes with a 4:38. Once we know the exact timing, you'll see it appear there in the middle of the screen. At the end of 30 minutes, when the timer runs out, the person who's got the best time will be the winner of this match.
Okay, I think I figured out how to make BizHawk go faster. Normally it's not a big deal, but this is such a slow-moving game that it takes a while to get through.
Yeah.
Oh, except now I can't stop it from speeding up. Great, great. Blow right past the end of the goal.
Too early.
So the players have said they think this is the trickier goal. Maybe it's good to get that out of the way first. I don't know, I always feel like it's better to do the more difficult goal first. I chose this goal as the first goal rather than second or the last goal because I don't know, I like to see the harder game done first, and I think that players when they're more exhausted are going to want to do the goal they're more familiar with at that point. It's probably easier to do the hard one right up at the start. You see these guys all using the axe. That tends to be the weapon of choice for the speed run. It really varies from Castlevania game to Castlevania game which of the sub-weapons is the ideal one for speed running. This game does have other sub-weapons. I know it's got holy water and probably the knife, but I can't recall. Holy water does get some use in the speedrun. There's a level where it's used all over the place. I don't remember if that was one of the levels that we are doing in the second goal, but
Nope.
but it does get used. Yeah, I think the second goal they start with no sub-weapon, but they can get an axe pretty early on.
Yep.
Alright, took me a moment there, but I think we finally got 90's time on the board.
And indeed, it's a 438.5. So 90 so far with the first place time. But we'll have to see what happens when each of these other players gets a run completed. This is going to probably be a pretty low yield match. I think there's not going to be a lot of completed runs. So the runs that do come through are going to be pretty important. And it's certainly the case where I would keep going with a run that wasn't all that good just to get something on the board. Sometimes we see, with goals that are very difficult and don't have a lot of people finishing runs, we'll sometimes see someone getting down to the very end and they still haven't got a run on the board and they're really struggling just to get something. So you could end up beating one of the other players just because you get a run finished and they waited too long before getting a run that they thought was worthy of submitting.
Oh my god, I did it again.
You love these cooperative spiders. And then miss the rope jump. Yeah, that's a pretty tight jump there. I'm sorry, we won't have comparison videos today. I'm trying to get BizHawk to run on this new computer here, and it just isn't working for me, so I can't render the comparison videos for you. Just have to use your imagination.
So 90 is the kind of player who will have some very consistent strats, which I mean, I'm not surprised. He's the first one to get on the board here. And Dragon Dark's kind of the opposite. Definitely the sort of player who knows what kind of run he wants and is not going to settle for something else. And I think Jaden's kind of somewhere in between. based off of, I mean, this is kind of a long goal, just based off of how fast the character moves. In order to have enough gameplay to make the goal interesting, it ends up being on the long side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you don't get many attempts, basically. That many shots at a full run. So choosing to reset basically can be a big time commitment or time loss, but depending on how you look at it. So you're a little more tolerant of mistakes because as soon as you reset, at least you're going to need at least 4 minutes to finish your run. So it's tough. It's tough when you really want the run that you can get, but at the same time you also need to get on the board in 30 minutes.
Yeah, so far these players spending most of their time in the first part of the level. Haven't really seen timers going above 2 minutes very much here. Dragon Dark had a run where he got into the climbing section and took an accidental hit and knew that he wasn't going to have enough health to continue, so he just reset.
I've had 2 get to the last section.
Yeah, same spider jump. Didn't
So
go his way.
the only sub-weapons in this, I believe, are Holy Water and Axe.
I don't think there's any others.
Yeah, I don't think there's any knife or stopwatch or anything.
No cross.
No
Last
cross. Well, the Japanese version has the cross, but they took it out in the
one. That's weird.
other version. Yeah.
US
And
censorship.
what's that?
US censorship.
Yeah, it could be
Oh,
censorship, but they
maybe.
don't censor the cross in every other Castlevania game, or any of the many crosses in the other Castlevania games, besides the one you throw. But this is kind of a small game. There's
come
not that much
on!
to it. Oh, let's see what happens here.
Tagged by that spike.
Oh, tagged by the spike, doesn't have enough health to continue.
Yeah, Dragon Dark
Too
plays
horrible
those
on that
rooms
jump.
really risky. There's there are a lot of different ways you can tackle it, basically, depending on how dangerous you want to play it. And Dragon Dark is definitely going all out on both of these Stomper Crusher rooms here.
That time save, it looks like it's really worth it, though.
There's also oh no, I'm thinking of another goal. But yeah, there's some tight stuff that you can do, and in a game like this, there's not too many places to save time. Dealing how quickly you deal with enemies is one thing, but other than that, you're kind of moving to the right and jumping, and so anytime there's a chance to save time, players really want to capitalize on that. But some of the things you can do here are really, really precise, and can go really bad if you screw it up. So there's a lot of risk-reward situations that players had to consider for this goal, and especially the next goal, because you can you have more health to damage boost with, and so you have to make a lot of decisions about what enemies you're going to damage boost through and which ones you're going to stop and kill. Jadian stopping the spike too close to the ceiling. you'll see players wait to finish it off just so that it gives it time to fall. Because you can't crawl in this game. Why can't Christopher crawl?
What happened was I tried to attack, and one of my attacks didn't go through, so... Went a little bit too high.
Does this game feel laggy? I mean, I know it's kind of slow moving, so maybe it's hard to tell, but... I'm wondering if it seems like there's eaten input due to lag.
No, the eaten input seems like it's mostly just due to landing. And some fuzziness around corners.
Well, this is a pretty slow-moving game. There's not too many levels to it. There's only 4 levels. The structure is there's 4 levels that you can select between. The level select screen for the first 4 levels that you can do in any order. And then after that, you're taken into Dracula's Castle, which I think only has two levels, and then it's got like a boss in this like little pre-boss area. So there's not really that much to this game. It's pretty short, and yet the speed run for it, the world record run, is by Jaguar King.
Who's in chat now?
Who's in the chat right now? Yep, and that's only 26:44. I mean, that is 26:44, which seems like that's a lot for a game with 6 levels. But it's just gives you a sense of how long each of these levels are.
Dragon Dark there, willing to make a small sacrifice, let that spider climb down a little more to just make sure that he gets this run finished.
No, it's not laggy.
Alright, Dragon Dark heading into the boss with 6 bars of health here. Not a lot. This boss has a lot of health, and it's really hard to avoid anything he does. So it's kind of more like a DPS race situation. So going in with that much health can be a little tricky. We'll see how he does.
I like how the orb makes the boss appear in this version. It's a hard boss fight, I think.
Get fucked!
Oh, let's see.
There it is.
So
A
close.
mighty 417.
Well, wow, 417 it's good for first place by a long shot there. Almost 20 seconds ahead of the one run that's been submitted so far from 90. I'm sure Dragon Dark's happy about that. Do you have any kind of sense for what your PB is, or is that your PB?
My PB is a 410 something.
410 something, okay.
I think sub 410 is just barely.
Yeah, this boss is really tricky. I played through this and I had to set a save state in front of that boss just to figure out how to beat him.
Hopefully your save state was better than my first one. I went in there 2 HP short.
How many hits do you usually take during it?
I usually survive on 2 HP.
Yeah, I think... Doesn't that thing do damage in units of 2?
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 HP is the least you can end up with. If you don't have the axe, it's almost impossible. Yeah, I would believe that. I like the projectile whips in these Game Boy Castlevania games. You can upgrade the whip, you know, from the wimpy whip to a longer whip to a whip that's got a little fireball that it shoots out.
The problem is the fireball is weaker than the whip itself.
Yep, it's true. But at least it's something. Alright, well there's our 417 up there on the board.
I hope that it timed with the burp perfectly.
Yep, just updated with the burp there.
Sound effect. Like Drawful. Or any of those Jackbox party games. eyes are on Jadian here. Jadian had limited practice time. It's finals. We're coming up, and also there were some computer troubles. He said he was feeling pretty good about goal 2. But this one, everyone was feeling a little shaky, I think.
If I can get a run in, I'm pretty sure I can beat Knight each time, but I'm also pretty sure that I can't beat Dragon Darks.
Yeah, Dragon Dark mostly went all out there. He waited a little bit for a spider, and a couple other very, very minor things, but for the most part he nailed all of the risky strats. So I guess Jadian's made up his mind to play for second place here. This is a best 2 out of 3 situation. We're gonna have 3 matches today. So if you lose this one, you're not out, but you're definitely in a bad situation. And all of these players are competing against each other.
Well, Nighty's technically only competing against whoever wins between Jade.
Yes. But I mean, then he's competing against whoever has the faster time.
Yep.
So he's might as well be competing against both.
Yeah, that's right. It is essentially a free-for-all in that of these 3 players, only one person gets to advance. So what we do at the end of 3 matches is we compare how many times each player has beat each other player, and 2 out of 3 is what you need to win.
So if Dragon Dark does indeed end up taking this match, anyone who loses to him in the second match is out. Both players will need to beat Dragon Dark in that second match. But who knows? This is not over yet. Nighty's got some green numbers. I mean, he's going to need a big green number, but we'll see. Maybe he was using some consistent strats to get on the board, and now he's going to bust out something a little more risky. Jadian trying to play on with the regular old whip there wasn't working out too good.
I like these rooms where you have all the time in the world to kill the enemies, but you have to.
Yeah, I gotta say, the music for this game is pretty good.
I think the music for the other goal was actually better.
Yeah, we have the benefit of being able to hear the whole soundtrack here. We don't have to hear just Castle Part 2 over and over. Oh, we got Nighty fighting the boss here. He's got green numbers.
435, putting pressure on Jadian.
And wait for it.
Oh no!
435.
Wait for it.
There you go. Spoiler. Oh, we had to add some delay to his stream to prevent it from dropping.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'll kill him more.
Music is actually a rendition of a piece called Passepied by Debussy. Interesting. Alright, well, we did have a slight improvement by Nighty there. Let's see if he can take off... he's going to have to take off another 15 seconds from that. Or a little over 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to require some route alterations, I think, and that is really not easily done on the fly. So maybe one of those situations where a player is just come up with something that the other players can't match. It's obviously a really bad situation to be in.
Yeah, sometimes that happens though. You got a person who just practiced the heck out of the game, or maybe just found the right strats for the run, or the right strats that suits their playing ability, and they get the run that they wanted, and that's pretty much it. With these week-long goals, these goals where these players have had a week to practice, generally we tend to see a much higher difference in the ability level, or not the ability level, but the level of the strats, like the ability to get times for the goal. Just because some people just practice more efficiently, or simply have more time to practice. Not so much about inherent ability as just like what strats they used, and that dictates what kind of time they can even possibly get.
Yeah, like while people are practicing, like they probably were like, oh, you know what? I think there's a faster way to do this, but man, is that tough. Do I want to spend my time learning this thing that I, might never actually get in a match? Or do I come up with something just a little slower and a lot safer, I think, actually, in this situation. But Dragon Dark is the kind of player who, if he sees a way to save that time, he's going to learn it and he's going to do it. So, well, I mean, he's not crazy. He's not going to do the one-frame jump in Mario, it looks like. But he definitely will go for some crazy stuff. And so he found a way to save a lot of time in the first Crusher room. And even though it's pretty tight, he decided to learn and figure it out, incorporate it into his run, and it's paid off here. Basically, it's a risk, it's a gamble.
Saves about 4.5 seconds over the taps. If that's it.
Well, it's last call, guys. This is your last chance to reset. And that's it. No more resets past right now. It's looking like all the players are continuing on, I think, so far.
It's a little hard to tell with 90 stream delayed.
Yeah, it's a bit delayed, but
I don't think he has any reason to reset here.
No, he seems to be doing fine on health and everything, so... Yeah, it's tricky killing these crushers in just the right spot that you can make your jump.
Nope, didn't make it.
Let's wait for it. Let's see, he's going to jump too early, and there it is, but bump.
I jumped up to the platform. I didn't have enough time to make it over.
Well, Dragon Dark's going to keep going, but he's probably not got enough health to do the rest of this goal, right? So you see this room that Jadian's in right now. It's a pretty heavy damage taking in this room.
Yeah, you go down to 2 health there, and that's where you'll remain till the very end when you can pick up a wall chicken.
Oh.
I mean, death abuse is an option too. As soon as you pass through a door, if you just immediately kill yourself, you don't lose your weapon yourself, obviously.
Well, you don't want to go into the boss fight without the axe.
I don't know where this axe is.
Exactly. I'm not sure either. So based off of the splits, I mean, the manual splits can be a little inaccurate, but based off of them, it looks like Jadian is ahead of Nighty's run here.
Yeah, both Dragon Dark and Nighty are done for this match, but Jadian still has a very solid run going.
Misses that axe. And there's this spider jump here is really tricky, and there's the sound of frustration there. Yep, sure enough.
There it is.
I
Jumped
let
a
it go
little bit
down
short.
farther too.
Yeah, you really have to get right to the edge of that platform. So he
Alright,
picks
I
up
do
the chain
remember
whip
this
here.
axe.
There's at least that. But he's going to have a lot of trouble catching 90 with the death. All the same, though, it's nice to get on the board, so he's definitely going to play it out here.
Assuming he can beat that boss without the axe.
Yeah, he does have a lot of health this time, though, so...
There is a holy water right in front of the boss if he wants to try and use that.
That may be the thing to do.
It's better than nothing.
Exactly, it's better than nothing.
By the way, the axe in this stage is that candle on the right side. Good luck getting it.
Oh, way over there?
Good luck.
Found an axe.
Oh, he found one.
He found an axe. What?
So risky. Playing a little bit by ear here. He's going in with lots of health here, so he is going to finish third, but he is also going to finish third. Right. Assuming this boss fight doesn't go horribly wrong.
I've got too much health for it to possibly go wrong.
Yeah. Well, it could definitely go, pretty easily go wrong if you were coming in here with 6 health or whatever it is that...
I got comfortable enough with it for it to not matter.
Yeah.
Right, assuming he's got the axe.
And then I screwed up. Didn't imagine that I'd be screwing up this badly.
Alright, let's see. Oh. Yeah, doing
Turn
whip
around,
shots.
axe throw. Yep, just missing him on every attack. Going toe-to-toe with him, trading blows here.
He's kind of on the
Oh,
losing
boy.
side, though. This is going to be close.
He was saying there's no way can I lose this
There
with this
should have
much
been no
health.
way.
One more shot.
I mean, I've practiced like...
Oh, man. Alright, one more time. Finish it out. Looking for that whip upgrade.
The other
There
two
it
players
is.
are still playing, though. Still playing this goal. Must be a fun game.
Must be more fun than Super Mario Land.
Even on this run, the spiders wouldn't let me do that.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely a trade-off there for how long you want to let the spiders descend on their line, making it a little easier to do your jump, but taking more time just from the waiting. Here we're seeing a holy water fight. This is doable, but very tricky, we're told.
Oh, knocked him up on that platform there.
Still
I
keeping
didn't realize
pace.
he was going to go over.
But now I think this is down to the end. He's going to have to avoid this shot right here. And that's it.
Oof. They think they have a lot of lives, though.
Yeah, they do. They start with a bunch of lives, I believe, so... We might see
This match does not end until he gives up or finishes the goal, so... I mean, he is sort of giving practice time to his competitors, I guess. If they
That's
elected to switch over to Mario.
more like sitting around time to his competitors.
Yep.
That's fine though. I want to see this guy fought with the holy water.
It is kind of fun to sort of improvise here, so...
I'll fight him again, why not?
He's figuring it out. Where he can plant that holy water when he has to get out of the way.
Got a bit of a lead in terms of health here. Nice shot. Oh, they're pretty much even. Now he's fallen behind. Back to even again.
Knows he can't keep trading blows there, so he jumps up on the platform. Very smart.
There we go.
Oh, gets a bunch of
He's
swords to the
behind.
face.
He's got to get 3 more hits in.
This is so close.
He's got 1 more hit he's got to get on him.
Just
Jeez.
come over here.
Oh, that's the it.
No.
Uh-oh. Ran out of holy water, so...
Yeah. This is too far back.
Right here.
Alright, well I guess that's it for match 1 here. Looks like the winner is Dragondark, who gets a 417. Nighty manages to pull off a 435. Both of those very solid runs. Jadian almost beat Nighty there. He had a really good run going. Wasn't able to keep it together at the boss fight. Well, I mean, I guess
I thought we were going to be like, almost had an 8-minute, 30-second run.
Right. Almost had me. Sure. But yeah, being at a bit of a disadvantage when you die and lose your weapon and have to search around for how to get
Yep.
the axe back.
That was he did find it, but it's going to throw you off at least a little bit, being in that situation.
So we're switching over now to our next game. This is going to be our mystery game of the day. The players were just informed that this is going to be the goal here, stages 2-1 and 2-2 of Super Mario Land, just an hour before the show started, and they had 1 hour to practice this. So we're going to see how much they were able to learn of these 2 stages of Super Mario Land in that time.
Yep, Jadian's going to do his best to shake off Castlevania there, and I think he's got everyone's feeling a little more confident about the second goal, so he's probably feels like he at least has a chance, even if Dragon Dark executes on his run.
I'll let this Belmont's Revenge music play a little longer. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but the Mario Land music though, if you have to get all the way through that soundtrack.
Oh, we sure do. There's
Don't you dare.
It's 10.5 minutes for all the songs, so I think we'll be fine.
Just play that for the rest of the show and the Zelda 2 race. No one will mind.
Alright, all these players we see have switched over to Super Mario Land.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the players' practice here. I know Nighty is super, super consistent. I think Nighty's going to be making Arcano's job a little hard here. I think Arcano has joined us in the Skype call. So he is going to take over for timing. I can dust my hands off.
Hello, Arc.
You do stop getting double time for not doing the timing, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, well then, let's start off with Super Mario Land music. Oh yeah. And then, I'll give these players just another 30 seconds here to get themselves ready, and then we'll start this match.
Got a lot of consistency from 90, and it looks like Dragon Dark and Jadian are going for a little more risk here. But the goal is short enough that I think it's the right move to get a little greedy here.
Alright guys, ready to start the countdown here?
It was 2 spots for me.
Alright, I'll take that as a yes. So, prepare yourselves. I'm going to give you guys the countdown.
Prepare yourselves.
Prepare yourselves for SGL.
Okay.
Alright, here goes. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright.
Super Mario Land.
Super Mario
This
Land.
is a game. Everyone knows this game. So that's all we have to say. We just have to say the title of the game, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, yeah."
Yeah, that one. So yeah, a little bit different than some of the classic Marios that we're used to seeing. Mario 1 and 3, and one of the versions of 2, depending on which camp you're in, which one's the real Mario 2 as far as you're concerned. But no question about what's the real Mario game for the Game Boy. This was really the only Mario game we had for a while. This was pretty early release, and sort of we thought it was going to define what Mario games would be like for the Game Boy, but Nintendo decided they were just going to change up what Game Boy Mario was going to be with every new game that they released. So yeah, this ended up being sort of a singleton out there on its own. The Mario Land 2 is quite a bit different than this, and 3 is even more different. So this game sort of stands by itself here. Originally, I think a very difficult game to play on the original hardware because everything was just so tiny.
Yeah.
Everything was just teeny tiny. You're hitting these tiny blocks that were smaller than Mario's body size, and having to make some really precise jumps. They sure didn't make this easy. The platforming is just as difficult in this as in any other Mario game, and there's no kind of flying or floating item. There's nothing, you can't like tail float, and you can't cape fly. There's nothing that you can do.
No bunny ears.
No bunny ears, exactly. So you really do have to be precise with all your jumps. Mario has a good deal of momentum, much like the other classic Mario games, and I think in this it sort of works against you because all these platforms are just so narrow.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's also got like some incredible acceleration. So if you're running full speed and you hit left, Mario will stop pretty much on a dime. But like basically there's like a whole lot of forces acting on him at once, and they all cancel out. But Mario can leap out of that form to running left or running right, basically at full speed again, based off of your inputs. So it's really awkward. All of the players were struggling with it off the bat, though I think everyone's. I mean, for one, everyone is sort of memorizing these stages a little more, so they're more comfortable just running and jumping, no stopping, and that means you don't really have to worry so much about the weird mechanics when Mario stops. But there are a couple places where the game kind of forces you to stop or do something really ridiculous that the players don't want to do. So you're going to see players have to deal with that at least a little bit, and I think they're more comfortable with that aspect of the game.
Well, Nighty obviously quite comfortable. He's just completed a run in 117.8. Arcano has joined us, so he's our official timing referee now, and he's going to time that run for us, and it'll appear in this box in the middle of the screen once we've got the official timing on that. But that is our first run up here on the board.
I would have put money on Nighty being first on the board.
Well, he was for the last one. And
where are we supposed to be hitting the splits again? I didn't fully read it.
let me look. Let's see.
As soon as Mario enters the door.
Oh, just as soon as? Okay.
Yeah, enters the door at the end of the stage, that's all. Yeah, at the end of the stage, you'll see there's two doors, one that's at ground level and one that's raised up. The lower door is the one that you want for a speed run. The upper door actually takes you to a bonus game where you can get some number of lives, or you can get a fire flower, depending on which one you choose. Bonus games are kind of fun. They move just slow enough that you can predict where you're going to land. So you actually can, with a bit of skill, get at the one-up bonus or the fire flower, whichever it is you want. But the speedrunners are not going to be going in the upper door because the bonus game is just wasted time. They can take the lower door and just move on to the next level.
Well, that wasn't a very good run, but I'll take it for now, I guess.
114 is good enough for first place right now.
That's
Not
right,
good enough for Dragon Dark, though.
Yeah, 114 there. 90's 117 just got put up there on the board. But as soon as Ark is done timing Dragon Dark's run, we'll see Dragon Dark is in first place with 114. Some other stuff about the mechanics of this game. You do get a fire flower. You go from small Mario to large Mario if you get a mushroom, and then to fire Mario if you get a fire flower. I believe the projectile is called the Super Ball, is what we looked up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really a fireball, which I guess makes sense because of the way it bounces. The fireball mechanics in this are a lot different than in Mario 1 or 3. There's no like bouncing along the ground. Whatever the thing hits, whatever surface it hits, it'll just rebound off of it at the opposite angle and keep going. So when you try to shoot enemies, you can hit the ones that are directly in front of you, but then your bullet bounces off the ground and flies up into the air uselessly, which takes a bit of practice to get the hang of using that effectively. You can't really just go spamming fireballs as you go and expect to hit the things in front of you.
And you only get one active on screen as well, so if you throw it and you miss, you can't do it again until it goes all the way off screen.
Right, yeah, so they definitely didn't want you just spamming fireballs as you went to try to clear the enemies out of the way. You have to use them precisely, and only when you're up close to the enemies. You can also use fireballs to collect coins in this. I think that's a much more useful use of the fireballs than killing enemies, really. When you get hit, you don't slow down at all. There's no hit stun, although you do have a bit of an invulnerability period. So that's really good for a speedrun. It means you're not penalized for taking a hit, and so these players, you'll see them all take damage at some point during this goal, most likely. When you have a Fire Flower and you get hit, you revert to Small Mario, not to Big Mario.
Dragon Dark finishing with a 110 here. This is closer to what he was looking for, and it's the kind of thing where he kind of was practicing with the fastest strats that I could see. I think so. If he were to execute on those strats, it makes it really tough for these other guys here, and he's really put them in a tough spot now. Although 90 saving 2 seconds in the first stage. Gonna need about 5 more in the second stage.
Well, somebody's going to need to beat Dragon Dark if we want to go 3 rounds today.
Oh, we'll go 3 rounds.
Oh, you can. You're welcome to. Please.
I did all that practice on day 2, and I like.
Yeah, it sucks putting in a lot of practice on the goal and having it not even be something that makes a difference in the outcome.
So 90's run that was pretty good that I pointed out ended in kind of a weird way. It looked like he just kind of stopped moving, let one of those seahorses shoot him with a fireball. And I mean, there are some timed elements that, you know, he could have been waiting for, but it didn't really seem like he had much of a reason to wait there. So
His cat stepped on his keyboard. Is what it said.
Oh, cat stepped on keyboard.
wow. Okay, yeah, I thought so. It did seem like a really weird move there.
Cat strats.
Dang.
Diesel knows all about cat percent.
Jadian finishing the first stage with a 33.8, so it's 1.3 seconds behind Dragon Dark's first stage. Gives him an idea of what he's going to need to come out on top here.
Certainly enough to beat the 117 that's on the board for second place.
Yeah, but like we said,
Yeah.
it's Dragon Dark's the man to beat here as the winner of the last round.
That's right, Dragon Dark is the guy to beat.
Ooh,
And Jadian
112.
finishes really good time there, a 112.2 from Jadian.
Yeah, he still had the Fire Flower, so he was able to take the end of 2-2 much faster by just taking a hit and running through everything. So, yeah, we got ourselves a race here. I think both these players are capable of going just a little faster. They're going to spend the
Last
rest
time I
of the
cleared
episode.
stage 1, it was like a second faster.
Yeah, there you go. There's 1 second of the 1.5 I think he needs to catch Dragon Dark. So at that point, you're talking about frames. Then again, this is the kind of game where it's not inconceivable that you get a perfect run through a stage. It's certainly not easy to get through without stopping, especially in 2-1, because there's a really, really, really tricky jump you have to do right at the end that I don't think any of our players are going to go for, except maybe if this competition gets really heated up. But
The one under that box that's got the coins in it?
Yeah.
you have
I
to
think
hold
Jadian
jump for
just did
1
it.
frame.
Or just tried to do it, rather.
So maybe he feels like that's what he needs here to
I
beat
prefer
Dragon
getting
Dark.
to the second stage with the Fire Flower, and if I don't, I'm going to go for that jump.
You have to be
Oh,
small
okay.
Mario to do that, right?
Yeah, if you're too big, you'll bonk your melon, even with 1 frame.
Yeah, we got Jadian's 112 up there on the board. It's actually a low 112, 112.19, so pretty much what it says on his manual splits.
Yeah, this fire flower is quite valuable. Um, Both in 2-1 and 2-2, there are situations where you need to stop for enemies. I think so anyway. I mean, maybe the Tycoon who has the world record, maybe he's come up with some really crazy stuff. But using this fire flower as a resource, not for so much for the attack, but for the hit it gives you, and sort of maximizing its use there is a key part of this goal here. Early on, Dragondark kind of found a place where he liked to use it, set up some of these bridge jumps. But now with Jadian on the board with a really solid time, you start to wonder maybe there's a better place to use that flower. Though he does take a hit there, it slips into the drink after a -1 split coming out of the first stage, so that sucks.
On the bright
Dark,
side, though,
also green numbers.
right, Dragondark does have green numbers by a little bit, but on the bright side, we're barely a third of the way through our match, not even at the halfway point, so lots of time remaining
Yep,
for these guys to get the run of their dreams.
Jadian takes a hit there, so you're going to see him go for this really tricky jump here.
Doesn't get it, but that bump on the ceiling is just because he held the button for more than 1 frame.
Dragondark into the water. He's made that mistake quite a bit during practice, and it's because the game is very generous about letting you bounce off of enemies, basically. As long as you're falling, you're pretty much gonna get a bounce rather than take a hit. But you can also land on enemies that are quite a bit below you. For example, a platform's width below you. So if an enemy is just below a platform and you're on top of it, it's possible to bounce off of the enemy and end up below the platform yourself. Not a good place to be in a lot of situations. So yeah, and you're gonna see some of these enemy bounces being problematic in that spot. Oh, Jadian almost gets the 1 frame jump there. He had the 1 frame, but he did it a little too early, I think.
I don't know. I still bounce off those.
Yeah, you did hit it. But it did look like it didn't affect your jump arc, though. I don't know, maybe it did just a little bit.
Really?
That's gonna kill
The minus 0.0.
I apparently hit the split one. Oh, that is.
Go ahead and send that to Arcano, and we'll see if you frame perfect tied yourself or what. The numbers were green, so it probably was like 1 frame saved.
And we get to see this nice little auto-scroller. This game is full of auto-scrollers. There's flying and a submarine level. All auto-scroller. In fact, I think the final level is just one big auto-scroller as well.
Yeah, the final level of a Mario game is basically to shoot 'em up.
Yep.
Kind of weird. But you get that awesome music afterwards. So all flaws in this game are immediately forgiven.
Alright, well, we got Ark working on the exact timing for Dragondark's last run that he submitted. I think this is the star music that we're hearing right now. Pretty wacky.
halfway done.
Is it exact tie?
An exact tie. Dragondark frame perfect tied
Wow,
himself.
Nice.
the consistency.
Game Boy runs at just under 60 frames per second. NTSC systems like the NES and SNES, Genesis and all that, they run at slightly over 60 frames per second. So still pretty close. 1 frame on a Game Boy game is basically the same as 1 frame on a regular console game. So yeah, 1 frame tricks and a 1 frame tie. It's pretty unusual. emulator we're using for this is BizHawk. There's other things that people use for Game Boy. I know that Gambate is pretty commonly used, and this is BizHawk is using the same core from that emulator. But we like BizHawk because it's got some nice Lua interface. Oh man, JDN almost making that jump.
Yeah.
He's got to go. He knows he's got to go for it. So there he goes.
Well, Dragon Dark with more than minus 0.0 here. Coming into the end of the stage.
That's done.
Get a little bit of a bump. And then, yeah, he's down there, so he's all finished.
Nighty's been having a couple runs here where he gets to stage 2 with, you know, minus 1.5, minus 2 seconds. I think I saw 2.5 at some point. So definitely don't count him out. Seems like he's struggling a little bit with the end of this stage here. So he is going to PB significant here. 15. Oh wait, the spoilers. Dang.
The spoilers,
But,
yeah.
So I will leave the exact time.
And there we go, 115.5? Is that what that says?
Mm-hmm.
15. Yep, okay. Here we go.
He's got an improvement, but I think he can definitely do better there. Particularly at the end of 2-2. Got held up on some things.
JD, meanwhile's got some good numbers going on through this last stage. Oh, and he slips off that ledge.
There we go.
Dragon Dark's got something he's happy with. What's it going to be? It is a sub 110. 109.7 is what it says up there in his manual splits. We'll get the exact timing from that from Ark, who has just now updated to 90's newest time. 90's down to 115.47 out there on the board now. And we'll know in a moment what Dragon Dark's time is precisely.
This puts Jaden in a tough spot. He has to try to figure out just how much time over his run can he save, and or does he need to change what he's doing, start doing something else?
Yeah, he might be. I mean, that's not too much of an improvement on Dragon Dark's times, just a fraction of a second. So, yeah, there we go. It's posted right now, 109.48. So,
You're right that we're talking about fractions of seconds, but at the same time, when it's possible to get so close to perfect.
Yeah, 2.7 seconds is what he needs to save, so he may be able to just perfectly execute the strats that he has planned, but he may also need to start looking for some places to change his strategy up. Yeah, Jagger G pointed out in the chat that full of auto-scrollers in this case means only 2 auto-scrollers. Except if you actually look at the length of the auto-scrollers compared to all the non-auto-scroller parts, it's about half of the run. Half of the active gameplay time is auto-scroller.
Oh, so like Game Boy Batman.
Yeah, Game Boy Batman with those flying, Batwing parts.
I did not expect to land.
Oh, yep, Dragon Dark runs off that edge there. Whoops.
I see red on 90's screen, but the numbers are so
Yeah, it's a bit tough to see.
small. It's
in
hard to see.
Yeah, this Game Boy's got
I'm
this
guessing
tiny
it's
little
a
fonts.
minus 0 point something. So with the time that he can save on the second stage, he's definitely going to play this out.
Dragon Dark finishing the first stage again. A 0.1 second improvement so far.
The minus 0.1.
Oh, okay.
90 with a much cleaner 2-2 coming in with a time that you'll see. Meanwhile, Dragon Dark working with green numbers again. He's going to be... I don't think he's ever going to see a minus 1 second again on his splits. He's going to be working in the realm of frames here, but
I'm sending that one in. I don't care.
yep. Please do.
About 8.5 minutes left on the clock here. Ooh, Fireball Snipes Dragon Dark. JDN does have a 0.6 second improvement to his first split. It's a good start. I believe he's still Big Mario too. He's shooting his fireballs. Getting quite some use out of the fireballs here.
Really rather have had that hit for this section though.
Yeah.
Right there,
Yeah,
that
right
fireball
there.
that got him. That's where you don't want to. You want to be able to not stop there. It's a really big advantage because stopping there makes you just have to stop for something else, and another. It kind of chains together.
Dark's last run was 8 frames slower.
8 frames slower on that last run. Okay.
I figured it was. I just don't like having Fire Mario because it messes with my hitbox. Some of these jumps.
JD's figured out the best way to win is to just split as fast as you can. Get those green numbers. Crack the code. I can't tell if he's taking a break or if he's looking to switch to practice here.
People were trying to talk to me.
Oh. Stupid people.
So I'm doing something important here, man. We're bugging.
So yeah, I don't know what it is about UFOs in this game. What do UFOs have to do with Mario? There's
Well,
gotta
the
be
final
some-
boss is...
What is the final
He's
boss?
in like a rocket ship, but I don't know if it's actually an alien. And it's also got the Easter Island heads, the Moai things, and those are sort of mythically tied to aliens.
Okay, so in this game, Mario travels to Sarasa Land?
That sounds right.
Sure, to save Princess Daisy from Tatanga, an evil spaceman.
There it is.
Princess Daisy captured by an evil spaceman from Tatanga.
Oh, baby.
Dragon Dark strings together a nice set of jumps there. Lots of little hesitations to get through there as small Mario. So he's definitely saved a little bit of time once again. And every frame he puts between him and JD has a sort of makes it exponentially difficult to catch up.
Ooh, fire flower. Or not fire flower, piranha plant.
Mighty lined up with another crack at 2-2 here. not panning out.
Okay. B button just decided to let go of itself.
Oh, I guess I gotta learn how to do the stage small then.
Oh, there it is. Minus 2.6, nailing the one frame jump at the end of level 1. Jadian set himself up with an opportunity here, but he is also on unfamiliar ground. He's used to having the Fire Flower here.
So far, so good with Jadian. Can he finish it out? He's got this one fireball. Oh no!
Just misses it.
Jadian in the lava with a great run going would have been just enough to beat or tie Dragon Dark. Be very close.
It would have
to
been close, yeah.
Would have been really close. But we know that he can get that kind of time in the first level, so.
Well, he had to sacrifice his Fire Flower to do it.
Well, this is a lot better at least.
Yeah, wow, he almost matched his last run with the jump at the end there. Now he's got the Fire Flower. It's what he's used to, and it's going to help him save time in this next stage.
Dang, not enough.
Let's see.
I lost a second.
Oh, wow.
Took a hit, used the invulnerability, and he finishes out with, oh, not quite enough. He lost a second in there somewhere. Jadian does have an improvement to his time, but he's still got a little bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, the part with the moving platforms got held up a little bit there. That's where the majority of that second came from. But this is what I was talking about. The saving a second he can do, you know. But saving 2 seconds is actually much, much, much harder than
Oh, baby.
you'd think.
Yup. I can't beat that.
Dragon Dark with a 108.2.
I got the one frame jump.
Yep, that's what that -1 is in the first stage, and then he executed on the second stage as well. So perhaps he's forced Jadian to start going for that. I don't know. It's a tough call.
Alright, well, we got Arcano working on getting that run some timing there, and we'll know in a moment. Our board just updated with Jadian's improved time. The 111.6 was the run that Jadian got a moment ago. And we'll see what Dragon Dark's new time is.
Everyone's looking so much better at level 1 now.
Yeah.
They've been practicing basically level 1 throughout this whole 30 minutes. So when you've only spent an hour on practice,
Hold on, sorry, I gotta call last call here. I'm sorry, I forgot to do that, but it is last call for resets. Thanks for the reminder. I was looking away at just the wrong time. Last call for resets here. Sorry, what were you saying?
What else did we do?
Darn.
well, I was talking mostly about how the players are
Mostly practicing level 1.
yes, because that's where you keep resetting. So the players are looking so strong in level 1 here. Jadian going for that jump.
Dragon Dark.
I'm gonna get this message at the top of the screen.
Alright, gotta mash faster.
I can't mash faster than that.
Nice.
So Jadian at this point is, I think he's just curious mostly to see what he's capable of because he's reset a couple of times here.
Well, so I guess he's done, but we got Nighty with the run going.
90 strats so far. He's had some hesitations in his route that where Dragon Dark doesn't. So it's going to take something really special here to come up with a win. But it is a PB.
Still got a Fire Flower. Wait, let's see what the time is. It's gonna be a PB, I think. Did he finish that as Fire Mario? Wow.
Yeah, got all the way through the goal without getting hit.
Yeah, well, a slight PB for Nighty there. He's down to 113.8.
He gets mad props for getting through it without getting hit.
Yeah, that's really. I told you he was playing consistent. He just, didn't go all out on the speed there, and you guys kind of put him in a situation where he kind of had to. Nighty's strength, mostly in games, is as a blind player, and when you're doing that, you're interested in speed, but you're also very interested in staying alive. So, I think that's where his he tends to go towards that safety, that consistency, and it costs him sometimes versus some really tough competition. But there's a lot of skill there. But unfortunately, only one of these guys can advance in the tournament, and it's going to be Dragon Dark.
Congratulations, Dragon Dark.
Thank you.
I think congratulations to all our players here. Did some really great work. Some really close runs. We are gonna, I hope, play out this last match. If people decide they've had enough and they just want to get out of here, then that's their prerogative, I suppose. But
Dragon Dark and I both want to play Castlevania.
yeah, so we're gonna play Castlevania.
I want to see the second goal.
The one time I will not call birds jerks.
Yeah, they help out just a little bit here on this goal.
Yeah,
Dragon
they
Dark's
don't.
plan.
They don't help.
Nighty's
They
showing
help
us.
Dragon Dark. He's tamed them.
They're a lot more tame when they're dead.
That's morbidly true.
Nighty's showing us an auto-scroller level here.
Still Fire Mario. Actually, I think he may have got hit and got Big Mario. But he knows he needs to switch over because this match needs to get started. So
Yep.
Fine.
Jadian is still just a little. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Jadian stream up at some point in the near future playing some Mario Land, working on it just a little bit. It turns out sometimes speedrunning is fun.
When is that?
So there was just pure hatred that was driving you that time?
Yes.
Fair enough. Whatever gets you going.
I just really love the music for this particular goal. I have not yelled at this goal once, which says something. Like, the music's just too enjoyable.
I definitely cannot play a game, cannot speedrun a game if it's got, if it looks really bad or sounds really bad. I really struggle with playing it for an extended period of time.
I completely forgot for a while that I was playing without music on.
Alright, we got got these guys switching over to Belmont's Revenge again. Let's get the infographic up here. Lots of information you can get from the cover of this game.
Oh, is that what you put up?
That's the infographic, is cover.
I'll be right back real quick.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I hope it was like an excerpt from Wikipedia or something. About the tales of Christopher Belmont.
Yep, Christopher Belmont is the Belmont protagonist in this game. And I believe also for the first Castlevania Game Boy game. I think it's the same for both.
Good old Chris.
Yep, good old Chris. I'll look up in a moment once this match has started. I'll find out what the timeline is on this. Castlevania storyline jumps all over the place.
The only thing I know is that Christopher is, I believe, Simon's great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather of Simon, okay.
And then the guy you fight at the end of the other goal is his son, Soleil or something? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sarasaland.
Yes.
I guess it was as early as this game that Castlevania started incorporating the sort of penultimate boss being, a character was sort of on your side or has been turned to the other side or is a corrupted family member, that sort of thing. That pops up quite a bit in some of these later Castlevania games, especially all of the Game Boy Advance and the DS ones. But I guess all the way back then, Castlevania 2 on the Game Boy, were they playing around with that idea?
Do we have all 3 players ready here?
I'm good.
I think Jadian stepped away for a moment.
Oh, okay. I'll wait till Jadian's back. Did a little bit of digging here on Christopher Belmont. Christopher is the protagonist for just these 2 Game Boy games. That's all he's in. He faced Count Dracula 100 years after Trevor Belmont and 100 years before Simon Belmont.
Is it always 100 years when he comes back?
I don't know. It's just like it was 200 years between those other 2 guys, and he just found the midpoint right there.
There must have been quite a few other Belmonts in between who never had to do anything, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember there was Juice Belmont before any of the Belmonts?
What game was that?
None. It was just a song, a parody song somebody wrote.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm back.
Doesn't fight Dracula, only fights boredom.
Oh, welcome back. Oh yeah, and Christopher Belmont's son is Soleil Belmont. Good old Soleil Belmont, who was turned to the dark side by Dracula. Tragically.
Yeah, it really choked me up as a kid.
Yep. Pretty sad. So, I think we're ready to get going with this match, guys. I'm going to give you the countdown. In 3, 2, 1, go. And they're off. This is the 3rd and final match of today's episode. This is Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, the 2nd Castlevania game for the Game Boy. As I said before, I think this is a pretty good game, and I would recommend it. Not so much the first Castlevania game for Game Boy. I mean, I guess it's worth giving it a try to see how you like it, but I think that this game was
really hard.
It's pretty tough, I think, but it's got a lot of really frustrating things like auto-scrollers. It's basically a lot of being chased by the edge of the screen in that game, and you're climbing ropes for a large portion of the game, which I didn't find to be too fun, the rope climbing aspect of it. This game, I think, has got its priorities straight. It's just a lot of practice, or a lot of platforming, a lot of enemies that are much more like standard Castlevania enemies. And some good boss fights, some really creative ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of bosses that are like 2 parts moving. There's a double statue thing, there's the double bone dragon thing.
Yeah, the bone dragon thing. This is the one that's got the bone dragon that comes up through the ceiling, right?
Yeah, but there's that. There's the one that the huge one that kind of snakes
huge one,
up
yeah.
and down in a narrow hallway. But there's also just two bone dragons sticking out of a wall, and they kind of trade bones, and it's weird. But yeah, some fun bosses.
Yeah, this game also tends to have a lot more single screen rooms. We see 2 out of 3 players right now in one such room.
Reminds me like of a Mega Man game.
Yep, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of these Mega Man-like rooms, especially in the vertical sections. There'll be just like a single screen, and there'll be a little sort of platforming puzzle, I guess. Like, how do I get through this? There's some moving platforms. There's some stuff that shoots in and out of the wall. There's some vines, that kind of thing. I like the fast descend on the rope. The fast climbing down on the rope is a really nice feature. This game has some non-linearity to it. I mean, the levels are mostly get from point A to point B, but within the levels there are some alternative routes. There are some hidden, some false walls, hidden passages, and bonus rooms where you can pick up special items. So there's a bit of an exploration aspect to it, even though it's mostly linear the way the levels themselves work. You can do the levels in any order. The first 4 levels they give you can just select from the level select screen what order you want to do them in. And afterwards you end up in these 2 Dracula's Castle levels, Part 1 and Part 2. We saw Part 2 in the first goal, and right now you're seeing Part 1 of Dracula's Castle. And then after that it's a final boss fight, so not a very long game.
Except Simon moves so slowly that it is kind of a long game. Or not Simon, Christopher.
Christopher, yep.
Silly me.
He's wearing lead boots.
Does seem like it.
He's working out. Training weights. Takes a real man to go after Dracula in training weights. So I really like the way Dragon Dark's leveraging these birds here to get through this first section.
Did something I didn't want it to.
Yeah, they are a little random.
It's based on your position and what you do. I'll skip the part. It's based on your position and what you're doing. I can 95% of the time get them to do what I want them to. That other 5%, they're like, I'm on a coffee break. I'll be over
That's
here.
pretty good, yeah. You really did tame them. But yeah, he's using them to get some forward damage boosts rather than some backwards damage boosts. This goal is largely centered around health management and damage boosts, basically. So this is a really cool thing he's got going here, bringing this bird along with him. The tool-assisted run does a thing where it jumps and attacks an enemy and then gets hit, and it doesn't seem to have any sort of knockback animation. I'm guessing it's a really tight window to make that happen. Nighty finishing a run here. Once again, first on the board, no surprise. With, I think that's at 349. Maybe 2, no, not 2.
So that 349.1 is certainly a faster goal than the first one that we saw. Pretty much all the levels in this are fairly long. They were all 3.5 to 4 minutes in the world record run. I think the goal we saw for our first match was a little bit longer than 4 minutes even in the record run.
Dragon Dark down to 1 health. It's part of his plan.
You know, Castlevania games well known for their damage boosting, and the speedruns of Castlevania games known for their damage boosting and ending up with very little health at the end of each of the levels.
Damn, I did that wrong.
I'm surprised that he takes that route. By which I mean,
Not
that
getting
Dragon
meat.
Dark doesn't take the heat, yeah.
I could for safety, but I don't. After that point, I shouldn't be getting hit.
And again, he just did. But I guess he feels like he can do it in 30 minutes. Get the run where he does not get hit.
Yep, after this is over, there's only a few more matches left. I think there's... after this, the winner, Dragon Dark is the winner of this officially, is going to be going up against Cards of the Heart.
That should be a good match.
Yeah. These are all good matches, to be honest. I mean, at this point in the tournament, there's nothing but absolutely top-tier players left, so... I mean, it was, this was a really hard match. Today's match, a really hard one to pick a winner for, just because everybody here has done so well in SGL.
Yeah, I think after today, we've nailed it down to the top 6.
8? Oh, 6. Well, top 8. We know the top 8 now.
Yes.
Yeah, top 8 in this tournament. The Elite 8 were Cananophone, Cananophone, Jorf, Cards of the Heart, Error, Nighty, Dragon Dark, Seawolf, and Andy. So Cananophone, Jorf, Cards of the Heart, Error, Nighty, Dragon Dark, Seawolf, Andy.
That's right.
And, let's see. Dragon Dark's going to be going up against Cards of the Heart in the next round. And the winner of that, of Cards vs. Dragon Dark, is going to be going up against Andy. And then
Andy
the winner...
in chat is saying he's looking forward to anything that comes his way, basically. He's ready. From now on, each episode is going to be... 1-on-1.
Yeah. 2 at once instead of 4. So yeah, we've already done part of this round 4 matchup in the losers bracket. We've done Cananophone versus Andy, of which Andy won. So Andy is going to be waiting for the winner of the Cards of the Heart Dragon Dark match, and the winner of that is going to be going up against Error, who was up in the winners finals but got knocked out by Jorf. So Error got bumped down to the losers bracket, and that'll be the bronze medal game, if you will. That'll determine who's going to be getting 3rd place and who's going to be moving on to the grand finals. So Error already knows he's in the top 3. Error is one of our top 3 players. The other top 3 players, well, one of them's going to be Jorf. And the 3rd top 3 player, we don't know who it's going to be. It
could be one of 6 people.
Yeah.
4 people.
4 people. One of Cards, Dragon Dark, Andy. 1 of 3 people.
Oh, right, because we already knocked out Cananophone.
Whatever, it's somewhere in there.
Well, JD got a run in, and Nighty's got a run in. Both of these guys...
Pretty close.
Pretty close, yep. 344 versus a 346.
I won't be surprised if Dragon Dark finishes a run and comes in with a, something like a 340.
That seems to be the pattern so far.
Yeah, but it's also an if situation, not a when situation here.
Mm-hmm.
He is going all out on these damage boosts, and it's his risky play has paid off. He has won these first 2 matches, but we'll see if it comes through once again here.
His first room is slower than mine. If that one was a good one for him. I don't know if that one was a good one for him.
Let's see. The split points, we only get 3 split points when we're using the Game Boy script, just because of limited screen space here, but the split points are all at door transitions, but not every door transition. There's more doors than there are splits.
I wonder if all these birds cause lag at all.
I haven't
Not that
noticed.
I've seen.
I had a strat before where I had all 5, where I just didn't kill any of them, and I didn't notice any lag.
Yeah, Jaguar
The
King
only
was saying
time I've seen lag frames go up during this goal was during the boss fight.
Huh. It is a big boss sprite.
Yeah.
The boss fight, though, it's pretty much an auto-scroller. Basically, it's all... The boss pattern, I think, is consistent. So you just make sure you get in the maximum number of hits per pass, and you can always kill the boss at the same time.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
bit of
well-
finesse to throwing the axes and stuff, though. It's not free.
Boss does the same pattern every time.
What's that?
Boss does use the same pattern every time.
Yeah, that's the impression I got from looking at it. And so really the trick to squeezing more time out of it is just making sure you get it in the fewest number of passes. Which I think at some point means you need to get to squeeze in an extra hit in one of the cycles. I guess you're doing like a jump whip just as his hitbox is disappearing or something like that, or just as it's
It's
appearing.
just that you have 2 hits every cycle.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's never happened before.
Yeah, boss is not RNG, and they don't lag the game. Yep, we have it confirmed.
It's nice having the world record holder in chat. Thanks so much for coming out, Jaguar King.
We're still only about halfway through, not even halfway through this match, so...
Dang.
2 runs on the board already. JDN's 344 flat is up there, and Nighty's 346. Nighty coming into the boss
Yay.
fight here.
Poised to complete yet another run here.
To see what a good boss fight looks like. There's that jump hit that I was talking about. Just to make sure you get all the hits in there. Even throws an axe there. I wonder if he could have gotten 2 axe hits. Yeah,
Not
looks-
quite going to be faster.
Not quite faster. I think he could have gotten that guy on the previous cycle.
Yeah. That's 1 hit past. He missed 1 hit somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think it was the faraway one that you throw the axes at.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a hard one
off screen.
I think he got the off-screen to the right hits, but I think the left,
The left
off-screen to
one.
the left didn't work.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's, it's possible to get the... He is on it's a bit auto-scrollery, and that, there's you just kind of execute on the same thing each time, but it is not all that easy to execute on.
So for the most part, did you guys find that you could copy the strats that you saw in the record run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the TAS have anything in it that you think was usable for this?
For the for the first goal, definitely yes. I forget about this. I think I stole a couple of task strats for this one, but I can't remember right offhand.
Yeah, the task does a lot of... there's one thing in particular it does in this goal that is super, 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 super hard. Where you, near the end of the goal, you jump up into an enemy on the ceiling, and use the invincibility frames to land on some spikes and jump off of that onto a platform and then jump off of that onto the rope. And if you're even a tiny bit slow on any of it, you die. So I don't think anyone's going to be going for it. The TAS also doesn't get knocked back when it gets hit. So the room that Jadian's in here is the room I was talking about. So he just barely tried to get that jump. And there's a way to do that room even faster.
Yeah, there's a really long delay while you're waiting for that moving platform to make its way back to you. So I can certainly see how that's something worth going for. If it can be done in real time, I think it's something that's worth doing. Yeah, this right here, and wait around.
Dragon Dark tired of not having a run on the board.
He says, forget it, I'll wait for that platform.
Gets the safety meat as well.
I don't think that's going to slow you down much to get the safety meat, but it's good to have. We're listening to the soundtrack to this game, which I think is really good. I'm told that this stage in particular has very good music, so that's good for these players, because I'm sure they've been hearing it a lot over the past week.
So I think this is the first time we're going to see Dragon Dark get to the boss here.
Hearing a weird Game Boy harpsichord version of a Bach tune. Game Boy harpsichord. Yeah, here you go, Dragon Dark at the boss for the first time. See if you can get all the double hits.
No, I didn't.
Still got it.
I missed 2 of them, damn.
You missed the double hit. One of the hits off the screen, and the one on the left side got missed, so he'll be on the board, but not at the time he's happy with.
I wouldn't have been able to finish that one. If you miss it at that point, you have to take a hit.
Yeah, you're
behind
stuck.
him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I didn't have the health to do it.
Still a fair chunk of time for Dragon Dark to get on the board here. Over 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. 11 and a half minutes on the clock, so plenty of time still to get runs in. This goal not nearly as long or as unforgiving as the first one we saw. But still lots of minor time savings. I think this is probably my favorite goal that I've seen of this game. This is the third goal we've had on SGL of this game, and I think it's probably the best one.
Yeah, the boss was kind of annoying in the last mystery one we had in the Crystal Palace.
Yep.
You could 2-cycle the boss, but only if you were really, really, really precise. And it also had the rushing water.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little hard to deal with.
Alright, Nighty taking a crack at this boss here. He's coming in with some slight green numbers. Let's see how this fight goes for him. So far, so good. I think he got the off-screen hits. How about the axe? I'm not sure if he got both axe hits there. Yeah, and still needed one more hit to kill. So, an extra cycle, but he got it very early on in that extra cycle, so it's still going to be an improvement for him of about 0.2 seconds, it looks like.
If he can get that quick cycle, I think he'll catch Jadian.
Yeah, that probably would have been enough to be close to Jadian. I'm not sure which side he would have fallen on, but certainly would have been very close.
They've been
welcome to
practicing
get
this
hints.
for weeks. I don't think hints are any problem.
Yeah, you may as well.
Please do.
In general, we do encourage strat sharing. As long as all the players are privy to the information, I don't mind at all. And technically, for the week-long practice, we don't have any restrictions on what these guys use for resources. It's just the mystery games that we care about. Trying to keep it even.
Yeah, if there's some way to maybe get those axe hits consistently on the boss.
Throw the axes pretty early.
Yeah.
Just gotta throw
I
the
actually,
axes earlier.
when I was there, I actually threw one of the first axe too early. A bit too early. That's why it missed.
That's surprising.
Yeah, well, you're thinking,
you
like,
can,
I gotta throw this early. I have to throw it early, so you throw it really early.
You can throw it like pretty much as soon as the ground starts shaking for him coming up again, and it'll hit. So throwing it too early is really amazing.
Nighty's just practicing that boss fight because he knows this
Yeah.
is going to be really important. Once he gets the run that he wants, he's going to have to top it off with a nice clean boss fight. Yeah, just going to save state practice a little bit here. A smart move.
Yep, this 30 minutes is the players to use as they wish. If they think practice is going to be the best way to use that time, they're free to do it.
Stupid bat.
Looked like that first axe was too early there. Because you really have to push it if you want to get both those hits in.
Yeah, it was a bit early. Just got to find that sweet spot.
Got one hit there, but then, so it was probably a bit too late. Really tight. And it's,
See it. One.
you don't have great
not the
cues
second
to work with.
Yeah, I mean, you see the ground shake a little bit, and you can see the spot where the enemy is about to appear. It'll twitch a little bit, and you can use that as timing cue, but other than that, not so much. I'm not sure about audio cues. Does the music reset when the boss begins? I believe you got some sort of boss tune. You maybe could use an audio cue for the axes.
Got it there.
Wait, we're not quite there yet. Wait for it. Here we get to see what happens when it works. Yeah, I did get it there.
He's not happy just getting it once. 1 out of 10, he says, is not great. Wants to get a little more consistent. Dragon Dark's got another run that's getting pretty close to the boss here.
Yeah, he's really tearing through this.
Lost a little time in that last room. Didn't throw the axe when I meant to.
Oh yeah.
See some preemptive kills on these acid drops or whatever they're supposed to be.
Oof.
And now I got a boss fight from Dragon Dark. Let's see how it goes.
Ah, I missed a hit already.
Dang. That time would have beaten me.
I didn't even throw the axe. Wow.
It's up and B to throw a sub-weapon in this?
Yep.
Well, he's going to have to go a full extra cycle now if he knows what the next cycle looks like.
The next cycle is really annoying because it pops up right in front of you.
Huh.
The only way to
finished
get
it,
to-
but that's not a time satisfied. Well,
344.8 might be good enough for first. It's going to be really close.
344 flat is what Jadian has currently. So he's going to fall halfway in between Jadian and Nighty's time.
I'm not even happy with the run that I got either.
Yeah,
my
speed
DB was
running.
into 330
Speed
somewhere.
About 4.5 minutes left. Nighty's still practicing here. He's only going to give himself time for 1 or 2 attempts. Then again, he is really good at getting to the boss. So
Yeah.
maybe he's confident he can do it again. He just needs one shot.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody here who can get up to the boss on his first attempt, I guess it would be Nighty. So, and he does have, if he were to reset about now, yeah, he's starting to run about now, so he has enough time to get through this whole goal and then start yet another run just before last call if he wants. right now would be the last that he could reset and still do that. Because we are 3:45 away from the end of this match. This game. This is a pretty good game. I think it's worth playing if you like your Game Boy platformers or are curious about some of the lesser played Castlevania games. It certainly feels to me like I'm playing a standard classic Castlevania game, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it has that Castlevania feel.
Yeah.
I mean, probably all you have to do is make the character power walk with, like, through molasses, and that's going to go a long way towards making it feel like Castlevania. But there's some things to the the attack animations and the enemy placements, I think, that are real hallmarks of Castlevania.
Sure, yeah, the enemy types, the enemy placement, the sub-weapons, only 2 sub-weapons in this. I guess apparently in the Japanese version the axe was a cross instead, but there was no axe. It's still only 2 sub-weapons in that version.
Ah, that makes more sense. I thought it would be weird for them to just completely cut it.
Yeah, just completely cut it out. But you know, it's got wall meat, it's got bats, it's got enemies that take multiple hits, and you need to plan on how to fight them before their projectiles hit you. I gotta say, this Game Boy, both the Game Boy games are much more climbing heavy than most of the other classic Castlevanias.
Yeah, for the first 4 at least, you don't really climb anything, do you?
Yeah, I mean, you do a little bit,
Stairs.
but not really.
There's stairs, but there's no, like, ladders
There's no
or
ropes. Right, yeah, there's just stairs. And this doesn't have staircases that I've seen, right? No
I don't think
staircases.
so.
So it is a bit
No
different in that
stairway.
regard.
Sure enough, Nighty's getting a run most of the way through this goal here. Dragon Dark as well is going to try once again to get a cleaner boss fight.
He's coming in here with green numbers, so yeah, if you can get anything better than that extra 1.5 cycles that it took him last time, it's going to be an improvement.
An extra cycle.
You missed one of the axe shots.
Oh, fuck.
Missed a couple here. He's going to take a whole other... Oh, he's going to get killed too. He's not dead. He survives, but that's not... Oh, that is going to be a PB for him.
Minus 1.4.
What?
If he wasn't in the lead before, he is
had-
now.
He probably would consider to be a garbage boss fight and still is
That
in
was
first
terrible.
place.
Yeah, he's doing something to save time before that, basically. And it only really manifests.
And Nighty coming in here, got a chance to fight this boss and still reset in time to do another run.
Yep, and he practiced it. He's feeling good about it. Let's see, here it comes. The axe hits.
Wait for it. No, first hit. Second cycle hit. Third cycle off screen. Now the axes. Oh, I think he may... I don't know if he got the second one. Let's see.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he is one behind. He's got odd number of health right here. So at the very beginning of that extra cycle, he finishes that boss. Slight improvement for him. Fraction of a second improvement.
He's gonna upload it, and he's got enough time to reset and go for one last run here.
Sure does. And we're now at last call. So this is your last chance to reset, guys. No more resets past right now.
It looks like Nighty's losing 2.5 seconds in the first split, whereas Dragon Dark and Jadian got the exact same on their manual splits, but then Dragon Dark pulls away 3 seconds in the second split. And then I think actually Jadian makes up a bit of time on the boss split because he's managed to get a good boss fight at the end.
I've not been able to get a solid run, so
Yep,
This
gotta
is
put
the-
it all together.
And we've got the update there. Dragon Dark's official timing is in. He has a 3:43.7. So that is the first place time for this match.
Jadian's getting banged up a little bit here on his run.
Yeah. These times are all exceptionally close. About 2 seconds separating first from third here.
I figured this goal was going to be somewhat close.
Yeah. And Jadian at only 0.22 seconds. Only 2.22 seconds slower than Dragon Dark right now.
I did okay for how much practice I had, but would have been nice if it wasn't such a troublesome week this past week for me.
Yeah. Stuff comes up.
Yeah, I had
It's also a busy time of year. We were really hoping to get kind of done with the tournament before it gets to this point, but
Yeah, we sure were. But it didn't happen, unfortunately. Yeah, this week I also had some computer failure issues, too, so I've been trying to do everything with one hand tied behind my back.
yeah, thought we lost 3 episodes for good.
3
Just
episodes? I thought we lost about 50 episodes.
Well, yeah,
Oh my
well,
god, I cannot
for-
execute this boss today.
we would lose the masters for those, but we could at least have the highlights and
Yeah,
the
it's
YouTube
true.
and stuff.
We still
But
haven't
there-
recorded. That's right.
Yeah, but there would be 3 episodes that are just nowhere, just gone.
Garbage boss again.
Or maybe it's 5 episodes. Dragon Dark finishing out his last run. I'm pretty sure Jadian reset
I
after last
reset,
call. Yeah. So this is him just trying to show what he can do here.
Mm-hmm.
But 90, he's got some pretty big red numbers here. Things didn't go so great for him, but I think just once he would love to execute on this boss fight.
Alright. Boss is starting up. Let's see how Nighty does here. First hits are okay. Second hits are okay. The offspring hits. Let's see the axes. 1 and 2. They're both good. I think he's going to be able to get it. 1, 2. Boss is finished. So there's a good boss fight. That's what it looks like. Not attached to one of Nighty's better runs, but I'm sure he's very happy to at least see that boss go well.
That seemed like that became his new goal. I think he's the only player to get the fastest boss kill. I didn't see if
That's
Jadian...
the only reason my time was still up.
Yeah.
Jadian
yeah.
did have a
Jadian-
fast boss kill.
Jadian
but
got the fast boss kill.
not on the greatest run.
Both players.
Yeah, nice job, guys. You guys did great with this. I love seeing matches that are this close. Everyone just within seconds of each other. It shows that you guys really did master this game, and probably if we had another half an hour to work on it, we would see everybody with times almost identical.
Even Jaguar King in chat says you guys did a nice job, so high praise. So here's this really good run coming in from Jadian here.
Not very good. I
No?
screwed up the boss fight hard.
You're
Really
wrong.
good
It's
run.
terrible.
No, it's terrible.
Well, he messed up just a little bit there at the end, and apparently
Oh, they
between
messed up a lot.
his last split and now he messed up. But it was looking, he got the tricky axe hits, and he was looking at some green numbers. So I thought it would have been pretty good. That's just my opinion.
I was looking at green numbers, but even then, those rooms were still. I had bad rooms in both splits.
It's the curse of the speedrunner to eternally set their standards higher than their ability.
Well,
For all
that's
us
like
viewers, we know that Jadian did a solid job there.
Yeah, nice going. Well, Dragon Dark's the official winner of today's matches. He won out all 3 matches. He took first place. So Dragon Dark moves on here. Our other players, I hope, will join us back again next season. some of the best players SGL has. I do hope we get to see some games from them again.
Absolutely.
Next match of SGL you're going to see, it won't be tonight, but it'll be pretty darn soon because we don't have a lot of time left. We got Dragon Dark facing off against Cards of the Heart. They'll be playing mystery games. What console that is going to be on has not been determined yet. That's up to a vote by the two players. They'll vote for what they like between the three options that we're making available: NES, SNES, and Game Boy. So that's going to be 3 mystery matches, Cards versus Dragon Dark. The winner of that will go up against Andy in another set of matches of that same format, mystery match format. And the winner of that goes against Error. That will be to determine who goes on to the grand finals to face Jorf, who is our only undefeated SGL player from this tournament.
Yeah, not even like if you win 2-1, you'll still advance. But Jorf has not even had that one. He's been always 2-0, 3-0 the whole tournament. So he's on a hell of a run. But yeah, so Dragon Dark's got a long road basically if he wants to win this thing. He's got a lot of talented people he's got to go through, but the gauntlet is laid out there for him. We'll see how far he can go.
Terminator.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be just RoboCop vs. Terminator for the rest of this.
We do have more goals for that game, actually.
We do. Yeah, we could do more RoboCop Terminator.
That game physically hurt my D-pad hand.
Ouch.
Yeah, we've had games like that. That's one of the burdens of being a
feels like
speedrunner.
that.
Air still salty. He had a bit of a mishap at the very end of a promising run. We got got a little taste of salt, I guess.
What game was it?
It was Kirby's Adventure, a mystery
Bad
game.
memory. Or maybe I'm thinking of Kirby's Dream Land still. Wow, I've never been hit by that.
Well, coming up later on this channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have a Zelda 2 match. It is going to be Scavenger versus